If you're thinking about running a nutrition challenge as a way to get more one-on-one nutrition clients, great. They can be super effective for that. But you need to approach it the right way. I just got off a strategy call with an established nutrition coach that's run 2 challenges from her gym in the last year. The first one had tons of people in the challenge. They got great results, and many of them signed up for one-on-one coaching after. So it was good overall. The second one, not so much, which doesn't make tons of sense because you would think on the second one, you'd have more experience and it would go better overall, but that wasn't the case for her. So on the call, I broke down where I thought things went wrong, and I wanted to pass along my notes from that call to you so you don't make similar mistakes. Let's dive in. The first thing was she added in more value to the challenge, but got worse results. What's up with that? This is one of the biggest mistakes nutrition coaches make when they design their challenges. They feel like when they put more education into the challenge, they're gonna get better conversions. They feel like if they put more access to themselves in the challenge, they're gonna get better commitment. They feel like the more they do, the more content they provide, the more signups they're gonna get. And that's not only always the case. If anything, it's the opposite. For this coach, her second challenge had worse participation despite being better, despite offering more. And that's because you gotta remember that coaching isn't giving someone everything you know about a topic, everything that they could learn, handing over the big book of secrets to them. The secret to coaching, the actual strength of coaching, is providing clarity, giving people only what they need to know to get to the next level, giving people that focus to do the action steps that are required to get results. It isn't more, it's actually less. It's taking away the distraction. It cuts the noise. So you want to give people only what they need to work on to get that result. By providing more education, content, more access, it actually overwhelmed participants in the challenge and they had less to focus on. She actually needs to pare this back to make it more effective. So those are some of the things that were going on within the challenge, but the problem started actually earlier and before the challenge. Number 2, promotion was an afterthought. Okay, first of all, before I go too much further on, I need you to know that this coach is crushing it. She's doing a really good job. She's putting herself out there. She's getting people inside of her coaching and these challenges. That's a great thing. And she's doing a good job because of that. But I know she wants to make it better. And I know a lot of you out there want to improve on these things and optimize this stuff. So if it's getting nitpicky, we're just breaking things down and trying to make it better. So keep that in mind. Okay, but when she ran the challenge the second time, she didn't pre-sell the idea through trainer involvement and getting them talking about it. Remember, they're the face in the gym. They need to talk about the things that are going on, but they also probably need an incentive to do that, which we're gonna talk about as well. She didn't do any kickoff events or a meeting before the initial meeting to talk about some general nutrition stuff and why the challenge would be a good idea. Didn't do any lunch and learns. There was no content or micro education leading up to the challenge. She didn't talk about all the great social proof she had from the past challenge. There wasn't much internal hype within the gym about the challenge. And this is the stuff that when you do something for the first time, you're almost doing naturally because you're excited about, and she just didn't do it as well the second time. And that's why participation as well as registration suffered. Start early, get your community involved, and take more time than you need to, and the results will be there because this stuff takes time. Challenges fail when they launch cold, but they're successful when they launch warm, and you talk about it a lot. A few months ago, our NCA team ran one of the most successful transformation challenges we've ever run. We had 50 people signed up. There was tons of engagement. The community was pumped about the idea of it, and dozens of them rolled into one-on-one coaching afterwards. But the reason it worked wasn't luck. It was due to a few intentional choices and strategies that we've learned over running 10 to 15 of these challenges. The first thing, before we built anything, before we committed to anything, we validated the idea that people actually wanted the challenge. We posted simple content, like Instagram stories, but also still posts saying, hey, if we ran a challenge, an 8-week challenge where you could lose 10 pounds of fat in that time frame, would you be interested in signing up? That created a warm list of people that are raising their hands that they want the challenge and that they're already excited. Now we stacked that first move with two other strategies that were intentional: results and incentives. Not everyone's gonna have access to this, but at the beginning and the end of the challenge, we gave all participants an in-body scan. So we did body composition testing on them, and that gave them a body report card, an indication of where they are fat mass and lean body mass wise at the beginning of the challenge as well as the end. And it gave them a firm, clear reason to be consistent throughout the challenge because they really wanted to improve those scores. And we actually incentivized them getting improvements in these scores. So for the actual transformation prize, we weighted it so that they would get points for losing body fat mass, but also get points and gain points for keeping their muscle, as well as some other participation around the action steps. So like really digging into the process. So with all those things, everyone had a fair shot at the transformation prize, and everyone was bought in and committed to working towards it. Each week we kept things simple. They had one lesson, one thing they were learning about, one action step from that lesson, and one live call to get some coaching and to get some clarity around what they needed to be doing as individuals. And that simplicity allowed them to follow through. By the end of the challenge, they weren't just seeing results, they were asking about the next step. Where do I go from here? How do I build on this? That's what makes a challenge successful. It builds momentum and not burnout because you're doing so many different things. All right, but how can you get more people involved in the process? More of your community and more signups. The key is getting more people involved. The mistake she made in this challenge, the second one, was that the trainers, the faces of the gym, they weren't incentivized to talk about the challenge. This matters especially in communities like gyms. If the trainers don't talk about the challenge and hype up the challenge, there's gonna be less people signing up. And this coach specifically has a great group of trainers around her. There's people that want to, for the betterment of the business, talk about things that will benefit the clients, but also the gym, but they also need an incentive to do it. That's just human nature. It allows it to become a priority when they see why they should be doing something. So here are some incentives you can use. Incentive options include referral rewards, small commissions, discounted coaching for trainers, bonus entries and prize draws, and trainer spotlight posts so that the actual promotion can go both ways. If you want your challenge to take off, you need to get more people involved. The trainers here are the amplification. Now this next point is one of the toughest things about any sort of business, and that's how you market the things that you do and communicate why it's important for them to do those things and get them involved. So the fourth thing was communication was unclear. Two common issues tend to appear here. Number one, people don't know what they're buying. So when they don't know exactly what they're getting, the value is unclear. But they also, and the second part is, they don't know why it matters. Sure, there's things that could be helpful to them, but if there's not a clear link around how it pays off for them, why would this help me? There's also, sort of lack of clarity around the clear transformation. Coaches often promote the features of what they do. You're gonna get to work on habits. There's gonna be a Zoom call. There's going to be support. Instead of getting specific around promoting the payoff if they go down this path for you. How many pounds of fat loss? What kind of confidence will you build? What is the result going to be? In your communication and in your marketing and in your posts, you need to focus on what people will be able to achieve if they go down this path with you, not what they get. Remember, people learn by doing things. The best place to get them to become more educated about their food and their health is by doing a challenge or by doing a coaching. It's by getting them into the thing where you're best suited to help. And that's where they learn. And they only do those things if they know what's in it for them. So you owe it to them to get better at marketing and get more clear in your communication around what they'll get. So open that door by highlighting the results of what the challenge will do for them. And not skirt around the specific results they will get if they go down this path with you. That's what so many people do. They're afraid of promoting a specific result because it might not work for everyone. So don't be afraid to brag about what's possible for people and where your good people went well and what they were able to achieve. No one wins if they don't know what's possible for them. You do these things and you're more likely to get more people in your challenges that are getting results, but you also need to focus on setting things up to convert for after the challenge in one-on-one coaching. Remember, that's why we're doing this stuff. So this coach specifically, she also undervalued conversions after the challenge. She delivered so much value. We'll talk specifically about what else she added in, a lot more of herself and a lot more of her time. But she just assumed that by doing that, more people would sign up for the next step. But what she didn't do enough was seed the next step early, talk about her one-on-one coaching, position the challenge as the first step in this transformation process, build in graduation calls or an opportunity to talk with the participants about the next steps, create a smooth transition into that one-on-one coaching, and show them what happens after the 4 to 8 weeks of her challenge end. She improved the challenge itself and what those participants were doing in the 4 weeks, but she didn't improve the systems and strategies around the conversions afterwards. This is the most important point, and it's actually a core focus of the strategies that we teach in our Nutrition Coaching Academy program, as well as the webinars that we teach in education materials. Actually, we probably have a webinar coming up that will teach you exactly this when it comes to challenges or your own one-on-one coaching. Go to the first link in the description below to see if there's a webinar coming up that'll help you do that. Space is limited, so get one of those registered and we'll see you in a webinar. But there is another pitfall you want to avoid when doing these challenges. She gave way too much one-on-one time. This is the feeling that always shows up. I feel like I have to give more of myself, more of my energy, more of my knowledge to justify the price of something. And that only makes sense because you care and you want to help people and you want to be ethical and honest. But what does that do? It leads to burnout. It can lead to dependency on you, as well as it doesn't give people a clear enough reason to upgrade into the next step and continue on. For this coach, it all started with the onboarding process for the people that she was bringing into the challenge in person. They have an InBody machine in their gym, which is a fantastic tool if you have access to them. But what she was doing was scans at the beginning and the end of the challenge, which makes sense. That can be really helpful for them. But the issue was that those scans and some of the conversations and appointments around it were taking 30 to 45 minutes each for each participant. And this was all because the coach really cared. She wanted to connect with them. But when you start to break down the cost of the challenge and it being, $200 for 4 weeks of the challenge, and you start to think about the profitability of a 45-minute appointment at the beginning and the end, and then all the coaching and support that goes on within the challenge, and you start to realize that there's no way to scale this, and it's actually a lot less profitable than your one-on-one coaching. So what is she gonna do differently here? Here's what I told her. She did find that in a lot of those initial meetings, she was repeating the same information for at least 20 minutes of the call to these people. So for the next challenge, she's already taken the notes of what is all the helpful information that she wants to pass along, both from education, but also housekeeping and where to find a bunch of this stuff. And she's gonna take that information, she'll put it into 5 to 6 slides on a presentation, and then she'll do a quick, simple Loom video explaining what people need to know. And that's gonna save her 20 minutes heading into those initial appointments. This way, people still feel like they're getting information from the coach that they're going down this path with because it's still personable, but you can also make that video generic, leave out the dates and maybe some of the titles, and she can use that video again. So she's starting to build out assets and she's being much more effective with her time. This way she can tighten up all of those appointments. She can start to put maybe even multiple people in those 15-minute time blocks and still deliver the same value, but be much smarter with her time. And this is the same thing that happens inside of the challenge, not just at the beginning and the end. Remember, what we're doing within this challenge is giving people a glimpse about what our coaching would look like, getting them started, getting them some quick wins, building some momentum. But you do want to make sure that while providing all that value, you're still being effective with your time so that, number one, people can see the value of going into one-on-one, but it doesn't take so much of your time that you can't scale it up. Let's take a few steps back. First off, if you're running a challenge that takes 4, 6, or 8 weeks, this is a lot like coaching to begin with. So it should probably cost something. People should pay to be in the challenge. With that being said, if you're completely new to coaching and you don't have, established community, maybe you're getting this stuff going online, you can do something much shorter, and it can be for free to get people interested. Just remember this principle. The more that something costs, the less people generally will sign up for that thing, but the better buy-in you'll have around the process. Their commitment level will be higher. Now, the less something costs, the more likely you are to get more people involved, but they don't take it as seriously. How you position all of this stuff with your challenge will depend on what situation you're in with your coaching, how established you are, and what you want to get out of it. And then from there, you want to focus on your fulfillment and actual coaching within the challenge on a way that allows you to actually scale. So one of the best ways of doing this is that you can still help individuals without completely personalizing their plan and checking in with them outside of the normal challenge. But the way you do this is just set up a group call where people bring their individual plan, individual problems, and you answer all that stuff live in real time. And you can record this stuff so that others can pop in if it doesn't work for them. But that way you're doing the coaching in 30 minutes to an hour instead of spending 30 minutes with each participant, which you're not going to be able to scale at the price point. This gives people access to you and a taste of what your coaching would look like, so they're more interested in doing one-on-one after. The math around all of this stuff needs to make sense for your business. The next thing she needed to do more of is that she didn't leverage social proof before the challenge, during the challenge, or after the challenge. You got to remember this. You're a coach that loves nutrition, health, and fitness, and education, and living this life. Your clients and potential clients don't care about that stuff as much as you do. They care about results, and that needs to be the priority. And these challenges, they're basically a tryout for your coaching or a trial. And you're gonna get the best results for them if you're documenting how people are changing before, during, and after. Which means as you and your challengers experience progress wins, maybe they're sharing helpful stuff like recipes, they're building up habits and breakthroughs, they're sending you over screenshots of their progress and testimonials, you need to share them. It can be quick and scrappy, and you're just putting up in different places in the challenge, but also on your general social media, but you need to share that story of transformation before, during, and after. And the last point is here, challenges, they can be revenue positive. They can make you money while, marketing and promoting your services, which are great, but you need to remember the end goal, which is one-on-one. One of the best things about challenges is that people get to experience your coaching and try it out before they take that next step. And the best thing is that you never really have to wonder where your next paying client is going to be coming from. You have those people that are interested in it already right in front of you, and you're already helping them and having conversations with them. And if that can happen while you're making money, amazing. Because so much of us put so much time, energy, effort, strategy into creating content for people that aren't paying us to take the next step. So if you can do that while getting compensated, it allows you to prioritize it more, and it's just a better use of your time. But you need to remember that the overall goal of doing this activity is to get people signing up for the next step. That is where your business is going to make most of its money. It shouldn't be about how much money you make in the challenge. I see this in a ton of different businesses that go to trade shows to sell products. They focus on how many products can I sell at that trade show? When really they need to be focusing on how many emails can I capture at that trade show so I can sell my products to those people over much longer periods of time. That needs to be the focus. The coach that I was talking about with this challenge, she told me straight up, if I don't fix the systems around this challenge, I'm just gonna be trading more of my time for less money, and my business isn't gonna grow. No one gets into coaching, especially this line of work as an entrepreneur, to change lives for not a lot of pay. It has to be equitable here, or it's never gonna work long term. What you need to do needs to pay off so you can do more of it. And that's it, folks. That's what I told this coach to optimize her next challenge. So I hope you found this insightful so you can work that into your first challenge or the next challenge you're going to run. And if you want more specific help, make sure to go to the first link in the description below to sign up for one of those webinars. We'll give you everything you need to run your next challenge. And as great as all of those tips are, if you're really serious about starting or growing your nutrition coaching business, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is check out this video I've linked up right here. In this video, I talked about that transformation challenge where we took 50 people through the process, they had great results. I'm gonna break down how to run that entire challenge for you in this video linked up right here. So check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.